A 3-page document exists. It dates from April 26, 2012. It bears the classification mark CIA, RDP-05T0028 or 000300280001-5. Half of the lines are blackened out. This CIA document details surveillance technologies. On the surface, it appears unremarkable. But one line changes everything. It names a committee, the Scientific and Technical Intelligence Committee, or STIC. This committee has no public record. No congressional hearing has ever cited its name. Why does an internal CIA document reference an entity the government never acknowledged? And what is its connection to Operation UPSTREAM? The global surveillance program the NSA has always denied. In 2013, the director of the NSA, General Keith Alexander, testified before Congress. He described surveillance programs as legal and limited. He never used the term upstream. Months later, Edward Snowden released classified documents. They revealed the existence of Operation UPSTREAM. It is a system for direct interception of submarine cables and global internet traffic. The name is finally public. But the architects remain hidden. When investigators examined the 2012 CIA document, they found a crucial lead. Page 2 mentions that the STIC assessed the technologies used by Upstream. Who comprised this committee? Senator Ron Wyden, a member of the Intelligence Committee, asked specific questions in 2013. He referenced operations not disclosed to the public. He offered no names. But cross-referencing this with NSA FOIA 00042, obtained by the Black Vault, a detail emerged. The program was designed with the collaboration of intelligence agency officials and telecommunications providers. The document names only acronyms. Yet, a single name appears in several marginal notes, that of a senior STIC official. The archives offer no clarity. Who knew the full scope? The CIA document, CIA, RDP-05T0028 or 000300280001-5, was partially declassified in 2012. However, its most revealing passages were redacted. What remains visible mentions a STIC meeting on March 30, 2011. The objective of the meeting was, assessment of interception capabilities for Upstream. The participants are not listed. A footnote indicates that the director of the NSA, Keith Alexander, was informed of the conclusions. Officially, Alexander has always denied Upstream's existence during public testimony. But the document shows he was aware of the program as early as 2011. This discrepancy between testimony and archive is noted in the NSA FOIA 00042 file. Page 3, one paragraph explains that Upstream relies on a secret interpretation of Article 702 of the FISA Amendments Act. This interpretation permitted interception without individual warrants. Who authorized this interpretation? The document points toward a restricted group within the STIC. The names of the members were never released. In 2023, the Black Vault published a batch of NSA documents mentioning weekly meetings on Upstream. The minutes are almost entirely blacked out. Only one name appears in clear text, that of a civil intelligence official. But his exact role remains obscured. What was never explained is why the STIC was authorized to bypass the FISA court. If this committee acted without judicial oversight, then the responsible parties were not mere technicians. They were political decision-makers. To whom did this silence serve? Until now, one might believe that Upstream was merely an extension of surveillance programs authorized by Congress. But a detail within the NSA FOIA 00042 file reveals a critical flaw. Page 7, Paragraph 3 states, STIC authorized access without warrants to communication data for upstream. There is no law. There is no judicial authorization. If this document is accurate, then Operation Upstream rested upon a secret directive from a committee whose membership names were never declassified. Keith Alexander denied this before Congress. Snowden revealed the facts. The STIC issued the order. But who, exactly, on that committee, signed the decision? The archives do not yet tell us. What if the data we possess is not an anomaly? What if it is an operational pattern? The available archives suggest a troubling possibility. The Momentum program was not an isolated experiment. Identical documentary signatures appear across other files from that era. These include accelerated promotions, systematic waivers, and untraced budgets. A Defense Department report, classified until 2023, mentions an operational, technology integration cell, working parallel to Momentum. The dates overlap. The names of the liaison officers overlap as well. What remains unexplained is the connection. Why does a program officially terminated continue to appear in budgetary documents 5 years after its closure? Investigators who accessed the Pentagon files speak of an empty folder. There is no final report. There is no closing audit. It is as if Momentum never truly ended. This is not the only program the archives chose to bury without administrative burial. The question is no longer what Momentum did. The question becomes, who protected their silence? This detail remained buried for 33 years. In June 2025, a handwritten note was recovered from a Defense Intelligence Agency file. It was never digitized. It was never classified. It was never seen. The note dates from March 12, 1991. It was signed by a lieutenant colonel named James K. Redding. He served as the liaison officer between Momentum and Strategic Command. The note contains 3 paragraphs. The first describes a successful test. The second details a flight anomaly. The third holds a sentence the Pentagon never commented on: the vehicle did not follow the program trajectory. It responded to an unidentified command source. The source remains active. No official report mentions this anomaly. No investigation was launched. Redding retired in 1993. He died in 2019. The note was only found because a researcher, consulting DIA archives for a FOIA on another subject, requested Box 47R. It was not supposed to be there. It was. Momentum is officially classified. Its budgets are closed. Its personnel are dispersed or dead. But the Redding note exists. It resides in a folder labeled Unreferenced Documents. No one knows how many other notes like this sleep in the unrequested boxes. And what if the real question is not what Momentum was doing? What if the true inquiry is why documents that should have remained classified are beginning to reappear in 2025? This program is officially buried. What replaced it is the next episode.